need to go in the water. I need to dive in the sea. I need to go in there. I'm going in.
Hey everyone, it's Mocha here. So there's been a brief change of scenery and I wanted to talk a little bit why. So today's video is going to be a final update for Kaicon and I brought a tripod. Reason being was because I wanted to film my setup, pack down, and kind of vlog my experience as a first time artist doing an artist alley. So I finally committed, I brought a tripod. Thankfully Target had some on sale and it was only $5. And if you've watched my previous videos, I'm sure you've noticed there's been a little bit of an odd angle that I've been filming at. Reason being, my room is very, very tiny. What you can see now is me sitting clearly on my bed. Say hello to Mr. Truffles. I had been filming on my bedside table next to my bed, sitting on the floor because the drawers handles were big enough that I could kind of prop my phone up there and it was an okay angle. But now I actually have somewhere to put my phone to film. So if this works out better, I'll probably be filming from here or at my desk. But that's a little bit about the change of scenery. Onto the actual content of the video. Hi everyone, it's Mocha here. Bear with me for a quick sponsor break. Did you know that all of this YouTube channel, all of my TikTok, Instagram, my entire existence online is entirely self-funded? To help fund myself and my endeavors both in art and just online, I sell and make a variety of products. If you'd like to support me, you can check out my website at queenmockabun.squarespace where I sell all of my products including mug rugs, stickers, jewelry and so much more. If you'd like to see behind the scenes and get some awesome perks, I also do have a Patreon. My Patreon does offer things like a monthly sticker club as well. But if you're not in a position to financially support me, that's totally okay. There is no pressure whatsoever. But if you would like to still support me, chuck us a follow us on Instagram, TikTok, any of our other socials. Just remember to interact and that is enough as it is, and I am so grateful to everyone who follows me and who interacts with my content. You are genuinely the best. But that's enough from me, back to the video. Like I said, this is a final update for Kaicon. As of filming, this is the last weekend before Kaicon, so it's currently Friday. I leave on Thursday, so I have less than a week to finish all of my prep. Thankfully, I did lose my job. I know that sounds odd to say, but it has meant that I have had a lot of spare time to pretty much sort out everything. It also meant that I had a big, fat, juicy severance, and that has entirely gone towards funding and hotels, getting the last of my supplies, etc. So it's actually worked out quite in my favor. But I wanted to see where I'm at about a week out. So I've spoken about briefly, but I finally finished some bags. So these guys are just paper stickers with my logo on it, and I'm going to use these to just package orders if people want bags, etc. Rather than just offering a plain bag, I figured I would use my leftover materials to make it a little bit more personal. Now, since they are handmade, I could only make about 50 of them, so hopefully I don't run out. I do have another 50 that are completely blank that I may take with me just cautionarily in case something happens, if I sell 50 bags or use 50 bags and I need some more, but hopefully 50 is enough. My next manager update is I only have 25 more charms to make, which sounds like a lot, but it is hardly any. Unfortunately, yesterday I went through trying to finish them all and I ran out of supplies once again. And unfortunately, my local store where I buy my supplies had run out. But thankfully there was another store who did have what I needed, so thank goodness I'm able to finish them all. But these are the bags. I prepped some bags in advance, so that's all I've got left, which I'm hoping to finish today. I managed to get the last of the bottles, which is what they'd run out of. So thank goodness the other shop had just enough bottles. I think I brought out their entire stock because I have brought over 30 of these little packs. I cannot find these guys in bulk anywhere for the life of me. And unfortunately, as you can see, they only sell them in packs of 6. So I brought over 30 of these little packs to try and make them all. But got my hands on the last of them, so those will be finished later today. And unfortunately, Also did run out of phone charms, which I think I just realized I didn't buy enough of. That's okay, you can always go back. But unfortunately, the last of them will have to be plain black charms or attachments because I ran out of the coloured ones. I brought in a 100 pack, but I think there was not 100 in there. And unfortunately, because I'm only a week out, I just don't have the time to ship anything to me, and nowhere local to me sells coloured phone charm attachments. Unfortunately, I'm just working with what I've got, but everything else is all done. Thankfully, it should only be about 10 of them that will have black phone charms. So if they don't sell out, I'm not going to be selling the ones with the black phone charms, and if someone buys them on my website later down the line, I'll change them to the correct colour. That's all the phone charms done, which has been probably the bulk of what I've been doing. I have made some more fish phone charms, which I am going to be selling just to kind of gauge popularity. But pretty much phone charms, keychains, all of that done, sorted, will be finished by this afternoon. And the other major update is mug rugs. In my last update, I spoke about how I couldn't get my hands on the material and I had to use muslin. Now, I do have a little bit of muslin left. I probably have enough for about 6 more charms, so I'm intending on doing 6 today. But I had spoken about the fact that Amazon had said that they weren't going to ship my tufting cloth or my monk's cloth until the end of the month. Guess what arrived? That's right, my tufting cloth is finally here. Now, I do still have to make a fair amount of these little guys, so I am thankful that they have arrived because it does mean that I don't have to run down to Spotlight anytime soon. So over the weekend, I'm going to be doing non-stop mug rugs. I finished all of the paws, I finished all of the sprites, I've started on the frogs, so I only have 3 more designs to go, and I'm only doing about 5 each, so it's not too much work, it's just kind of a little bit tedious. But I'm hoping with the new actual tufting material, it'll be a little bit easier and I won't have to worry about things breaking or things going wrong and running out of material over the weekend. It was a little bit annoying that I wasn't told that this wasn't going to arrive, and then I was told that this was not going to arrive until late next week or the week after, and then it arrived, I believe, on Monday or Tuesday of this week. So it's been a bit of a runaround, but it's here now and I will hopefully use all of it. I'm thinking I can probably get maybe 12 charms per piece of cloth, so hopefully it will be enough to finish off all of my designs. And the last thing that I've kind of been focusing on and just doing when I've had spare time is packaging. I already showed these guys, which are the baggies for the phone charms. I spent a very long time printing the backing cards for the phone charms, as I've already shown. I spent forever doing the bags. I've also brought some of these little bags to put all of our mug rugs in so that they've got nice little protective covering. And that's kind of just being completed here and there. I'm trying to make my own packaging where possible. I am going to hopefully over the weekend spend some time making price signs, so kind of packaging, kind of not. Anything like mirrors such as the one behind me, my Kaicon mirror, I've painted a new mirror that I may or may not take with me. Anything like that, I'm trying to reuse packaging where possible. I have a lot of boxes and packaging left over from Christmas and from orders for different things. So I'm just reusing where possible. I want to be as green as I can be, so I'm not going to go, oh, I need to buy a new box for a mirror when the mirror came in a box. But like I said, packaging wise has kind of just been working where I can. For example, when I finish a bunch of phone charms, I'll print some packaging and I'll do some packing of them. But I haven't really set any time aside to just work on packaging. But really, I'm kind of mostly done. It's just finishing up the last few little stragglers. Now, I have unfortunately been suffering from some pain in my hands, which did mean that I had to purchase some gloves. But it has meant that I have slowed down a little bit. Even though I've had all this spare time, doing things like the punch and needling is quite strenuous on my hands and it does cause a bit of pain. So I'm hoping over the next week it's just picking up the last kind of couple things that I haven't been able to get around to. Now, as you can see, they are fingerless gloves and I love these. If you're someone who suffers from pain, particularly in your hands like me, always remember to stretch and whatnot. Unfortunately, I do have some chronic conditions that mean that like I just have aches and pains in my hands quite often. So these have been an awesome investment, and I'm hoping that they will get me through this last week and through Kaicon itself, because I am going alone. I do have some friends coming to visit me, and my partner will most likely come and visit me, but I have a half table. It's only allowed to be me, and I start on Friday. The convention starts at 2 p.m. on Friday. So unfortunately my partner couldn't come if he wanted to because it's 3 hours away from where we live. But hopefully it goes well, and hopefully these get me through, because I do have to do all of the setup and all of the convention just with me. And turns out if you spend weeks punching needles and doing jewelry, your hands start to ache a little bit. So these guys are just from Amazon. If you have any pain or anything in your hands, I do recommend getting compression gloves. You can mostly get them from chemists and things. I just really liked the colors on these, and I needed to buy stuff from Amazon anyway, so figured why not. They were only like $5-6. But yeah, that's where I'm at with Kaicon. I am feeling a little bit excited and a little bit stressed because, as I've spoken about, everything is handmade by me. I've spoken in this video about the packaging. I, make everything myself. I design everything myself. Stickers even are cut and printed by me. So it does kind of add up in terms of the amount of work that I am doing. Don't get me wrong, I love it. It just, this is my first time, so trying to figure out what needs to be done, how to do it, and executing it in a timely manner can be a little bit difficult. So I am just kind of learning along the way, which when I first made this YouTube channel, that was kind of the point, was I wanted to, share my experience of delving into the deep end and doing this for the first time. So hopefully it's been useful for some of you. I think if I was to do this again, and I have applied for more events, so hopefully I do get accepted, I would definitely be a bit more on top of the ball and very much focus more on getting my stuff done as far in advance as I can. So kind of the second that I get accepted, just going immediately into production mode, because being left at the last minute is a little bit tricky, because I do start a new job next week and I don't have a lot of time to sort out business stuff, sort out production, and get myself ready to go. And unfortunately for me, I do have to travel to events, so I do kind of lose a day where I am traveling, which does mean that I'm kind of short a little bit. I have seen other people online who spend the night beforehand prepping, and they just pull an all-nighter printing last things like stickers and charms and that. And if that's an option for you, amazing, wonderful. Unfortunately, I have to catch a 3.5-hour train ride up to Sydney or down to Sydney. So I can't really afford to spend an all-nighter, because I am traveling into a city by myself, a city that I'm not too familiar with, and I don't want to get lost. I don't want to get confused and mixed up. I am very lucky that I do know people who are happy to pick me up and show me where to go, but I don't want to be overexhausted and tired while doing that. So yeah, if you're looking at doing this, definitely prep in advance, kind of plan what you're wanting to do, and definitely think about what you're doing. One mistake that I have realized with this kind of prep is I made these phone charms, and I thought they were a really cute, wonderful idea, and I love them. But I was going to do a pride collection because I myself am queer and I want to focus my art and stuff towards a more queer community. And that's all well and good. And I didn't want to just do a generic pride charm and leave it at that. I wanted there to be different flags, and some of which I wanted to kind of represent people who aren't represented as much, like Aro and Ace people, because those are both communities that I find myself in. So I wanted there to be representation for those sorts of people. And I came up with my base designs. I had 9 different designs, which spanned a bunch of sexualities and having Aro and Ace as well. And at the time, that sounded fine. It's 9 designs, it's 9 different flags. I only have to change the design a little bit for each flag, whatever. And making them individually is really easy. Making one phone charm takes me maybe 20 minutes from start to finish. And that's not too bad, unfortunately. When I was deciding my stock numbers, I wanted there to be enough for if someone, let's say, was buying a pride flag themselves and a friend, that they could buy multiple of the same design, obviously. So I decided I would have 10 of each single design so that people could buy multiples, or they could, different people could buy the same flag and there would be hopefully enough for everyone. What I didn't account for was that meant I was making 90 phone charms, and every single piece of them is handmade by me. And it might kind of not sound like too much when you're individually going, well, that's only 10 generic pride flags that I have to make. But when you've done the 10, those 20 minutes for each one adds up. And then you realize that you have to do that whole process for 8 more designs. So definitely kind of be aware of how many variations you have and how many of each variation you have. So like how many numbers per variation. I think in the future I would probably go, what's more popular? What do I think will sell? For example, I'm not expecting the man loving man flag to sell very well, so maybe I would only do 5 or 6 of them. Whereas something like the generic pride I think will sell a lot better, so maybe I'll make 10 of those. So I would definitely recommend thinking about what you think will be most popular and just going off of that. And then of course later down the line, if you turned out to be wrong and something you thought would be unpopular turned out to be popular, you can always fix it. But it does mean that you're not in a situation where I find myself in, where I'm going, oh my god, I have so much stock to finish. My other recommendation is don't leave packaging anything to the last minute. I didn't really think about packaging because for a while I thought I was going to put my phone charms and things in a different style, like a different display on my table. So the display style that I originally had would mean that you would just grab the charm off of like a little spinny thing and that would be it. But then I decided that I was going to change how I wanted the phone charms to be on my table. And then I was like, oh, maybe I should package them if I'm only going to have one set on my table. And then people can just go, can I have like a lesbian keychain? And I go, okay, cool, and grab it from behind the table. And that meant that I had to design the packaging, make the packaging, and package them all. And I kind of left it to the last minute. It's only been in the last fortnight or so that I've actually really thought about packaging. And I do wish I had a little bit more time. I have tried to get ahead of myself, as I've shown about 3 times already. I have these. Now, for the phone charms, I wanted to make it very clear what phone charm people were buying. I had already designed a series of pride paw stickers, so I printed some off with each flag and put them on the front so that the phone charm sits in there. If people are unsure of what design they're looking at or wanting to purchase, it's got a quite, generic pride flag on there. But again, I didn't think about numbers, so I've had to sticker 90 of these little things individually with each pride flag, which is a lot of work. And it would have been all well and good had I done that a while ago, but it has meant that I've suddenly had to print, cut, and sticker all of these very, very quickly so that they can all be done. So if you are thinking of having packaging and you do want your products to have like a packaged, cleaner look, then do it in advance. Don't leave it to the last minute like me, because then you'll have last minute shopping trips like I have to go buy very expensive organza bags because you don't have time to ship anything in bulk to you. Overall, my biggest advice is just think ahead. I'm hoping that I've had enough stock. I've spoken to a few other people who recommended rough numbers to me about like how many of each item I should have. Some of it's just kind of been based on how much I felt confident that I could make, and some things have just been a very vague kind of guess at how many I think I should have. But I would definitely think about what's your audience, how many of each kind of thing do you think will sell, and how many can you realistically make, giving yourself breaks, giving yourself grace in terms of something might happen. You might have holidays coming up, you might run out of materials, shipping issues, that sort of thing. And having maybe like a backup plan going, okay, my original idea is to make 10, but if I can't make 10, maybe I'm only going to make 6 of them. And making sure that at minimum you can do 6, but maybe just have like an upper echelon for if I have time and materials, I'll make a few extra just in case. I will let you guys know after the convention how much kind of sells and how it went, because like I said, this is my first time doing this, so I don't really have a set community or people who I know specifically are going to come. I do have a few friends who are coming to visit, but you know, I'm not a big creator where I can guarantee that people are going to come to the event just to purchase from me. So I'm hoping things go well. I was lucky enough to talk to the person that I'm tabling next to because I only have a half table. And yeah, I'll let you guys know kind of how it goes. Like I said, I will be vlogging the experience, so hopefully I don't fail. I'm hoping it's not a flop. It's definitely nerve-wracking going into this as a first timer, especially since I'm going solo and I don't really know anyone else going into the event. I'm acquaintances with one other person who I know is going to the event as like a vendor, and that's pretty much it. I don't know anyone else. So I'm definitely putting myself in the deep end, and there's only one way to find out if it's worth it, and that's to give it a go. Now, if you are in the Sydney area and you are interested in going, it is the Kaicon Twilight Market. It's in Darling Harbour, and I am at table K24, which is towards the back. I was very thankful that I kind of got the table that I did because I am along the wall. There's over 400 artists at this event, so the middle section I feel is going to be very busy and very kind of where people are shoveled into and tunneled into, and then people are just going to want to just like walk straight through, I feel, if it's very busy. But I find, especially going to like markets and things, at least that outside rim in between, like, you know, like you've got the walls and you've got artists along the walls, and then you have the tables kind of facing towards the walls. That little hall along the edges is always quite calm in a way. It's still busy because people naturally are going to kind of veer around the walls and do like this S shape or do like a box, but because it's not in the middle where there's kind of lots of people, it's a lot calmer, and I feel like people are going to be able to slow down and stop and actually look, and I don't have to stress so much about being in the middle with crowds of people where, you know, people kind of look and go, oh, there's someone behind me, so I better keep walking. But we'll see how it goes. I don't really know. I've not been to a Kaicon event before, so I don't know how they operate. I don't know if they have, you know, ways to funnel people around or how busy it gets, that sort of thing. But there's only one way to find out, and that's to go. But this has been the last update for Kaicon. I will try and vlog the whole thing if I can. I don't really know what it's going to be like, so I'll try and vlog what I can, try and film what I can. I'll film pack up and pack down and all of that, so people can kind of get a feel for that, which is one thing I also need. And this is the other thing about last minute prep, is you suddenly remember everything that you need. Like, I need a high-vis vest. Thank goodness I'm with a tradie because he probably has a high-vis for me to borrow. I am very nervous. And don't get me wrong, I am very, very excited, but I just don't know what to expect. I do have some videos filmed that I am going to prep at some point this week for the duration of Kaicon, so you probably won't see any Kaicon content until afterwards, just because I have to film and edit and I will be at an event. So yeah, but this is my final update. I'll probably post some shorts and things if I can over the weekend, that I'm actually there and whatnot. But yeah, if you've got any questions for me, leave them down below. Chuck us a follow, and I love you all, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye.